Okay, guys, welcome to Everything Money Plus. We are doing a video today. We're going to talk about a stock that's getting a lot of attention. And also, I'm going to touch on this whole $13.5 billion repo that came in from the US government just a few days ago, and it's causing people to get upset. First, let's go to MicroStrategy. Now, MicroStrategy, let me pull it up here in our exclusive software. MicroStrategy is the stock that is owned by Michael Saylor, where the people who are in love with Bitcoin consider him to be a genius. He is not. He is a snake oil salesman. This is a company that does $475 billion in revenue, net income of $8 billion. I think that's attributable to one thing and one thing only: the price of Bitcoin going up and down. 5-year average free cash flow, negative 9.4 billion, 37.5 billion last year. He's buying a lot of Bitcoin. Now, here's the problem. Here's where the risk comes in. He is borrowing against Bitcoin to buy more Bitcoin. When prices are going up, wonderful. But when prices are going down, which it will happen at some point, it'll enter its own bear market. It might get him wiped out. Here's why. If you're borrowing, and let's say the bank says to you, we're going to let you borrow up to 50% of the assets. Let's say you borrow $1 billion. They're going to let you borrow 500 million. If you use that 500 million to buy more Bitcoin, you now have 1.5 billion in Bitcoin. All it takes now is for Bitcoin to drop 34, 35%, and you're going to have a margin call. When you have a margin call, you have to sell something in order to replenish the margin. So your 1.5 billion falls 35%, it falls to like $975 million. But they're letting you borrow 50%. So you don't have to come up with a lot, but you have to sell a little bit. And if a lot of people are doing this, it can cause a run essentially on the asset. Borrowing money against an asset to buy the exact same asset that's highly volatile is a very risky proposition. This company was started for software and it is now purely based on Bitcoin, and that is it. Let's look at its financial statements. Cash equivalents, 54 million. Total current assets, 214 million. Long-term assets, $73 billion. I assume that's all Bitcoin. It has to be, right? This company does nothing else. Income statement. Yeah. Other income and expenses, 11 billion total profit here, 1.8 billion in loss, 76 million in loss. Guys, this is a leveraged bet on Bitcoin. So if you love Bitcoin, if you think it's awesome, if you think it's great, and you want to leverage it, this is how you do that. I do not recommend that. I think Bitcoin is a purely speculative asset. It is a tech play. As tech goes up, so does Bitcoin. As tech goes down, so does Bitcoin. I'm just very apprehensive whenever I see things like this playing out. And the fact that these guys think that Michael Saylor is so freaking smart, it makes me laugh because I look at this guy going, this guy is literally a snake oil salesman. How's he even affording these dividends is my question. Profit margin 122%, 5-year profit margin 230. So remember, the way it works now in investing is the SEC requires every company to report the increase and decrease on its investments as income. Buffett and Munger, back when Munger was alive, did not like this. They sat there and said, it makes our earnings look way better than they actually are when things are good and way worse than they are when things are bad. And it's not a true representation of actual income. It's just a gain on assets. That's it. So be careful when you're looking at these kind of things to make sure you understand that. Let's see what analysts even think. Oh man, this is incredible. Like, I don't even get this. Losing $16 a share to earning $13 a share, all because of Bitcoin's price. Michael Saylor has said that they think Bitcoin will go up 40 to 50% a year for the next 5 years. If he's right, this should do extremely well. As of late, as you can tell, in the last 1 year, it's down 51%. In the last 6 months, that's the entire loss, 50% in the last 6 months. Why? Bitcoin has been down in the last few months, and that really drives the price down significantly. That's something to really remember here. This is purely a play on Bitcoin. You're not buying a company. You're buying a levered Bitcoin play. That is purely it. Okay, another thing I want to talk about. This repo, 13.5 billion repo overnight. It has everyone going crazy. People are like, oh my God, this is QE again. It's not QE. It is not QE. When I see people on Reddit talking about this, let me see what they're even saying here. I don't really get this. It's the second largest injection since COVID. Let's go see if that's true. That might be true. Nightly repo. How do I do this? Nightly Fed repo. Let's see. Overnight reverse. This is reverse purchases. That's different. Let's see. Standing overnight repurchase. Oh, that was the one. This is the one. 5 years. That is true. It is the second highest, according to this. Let's go to a 1 year. So 13.5 billion yesterday, 11.25 on November 21st, 29.4 October 31st, 11 billion on the 30th, and several smaller ones in between. Okay. So the question becomes, what is going on here? This is 2020 when things were going crazy. That's the 10-year chart. Let's go to the max chart. Now, so before the great financial crisis, this was a very common occurrence with a lot of things happening overnight. Guys, I'd love to tell you that I understand exactly what's going on here. I don't. Is it 13.5 billion? Is a lot since COVID? Yes, it's a lot. What does this mean? I mean, I think when I see things on Reddit and people flipping out and average people flipping out, I don't know if I necessarily buy into that. It could very well be the start of something ugly. I just don't understand what it could be. Let me do a little more checking. Hang on a second. Okay, so the reason it's concerning is this is what the Fed does to add liquidity to the market. So if we're having a sudden surge in the last few months of this, is there a lack of liquidity in the market? Maybe. That could be very well the case. I mean, to add that kind of money several times in the last 3 or 4 months, yeah, I understand the cause of concern. And this is not me speaking economically like an economic expert. It's me sitting there saying, but I also see the people who are talking about it, and I go, it seems like it's a lot of the alarmists of the world. A lot of the things are going to end very poorly, and the currency, U.S. dollar is a fake currency. And we have to have Bitcoin. These are the kind of people I see saying this. So at the end of the day, keep an eye on it. I don't know if there's anything to be alarmed about imminently. Maybe there is. But at the end of the day, guys, remember, we're here to teach the process. And maybe this is my bias. I believe in buying great companies at great prices. If we had a bad recession tomorrow, the great companies that I think I own would probably stand the test of time. I own 28 companies in the stock market, so maybe a few would be hit hard. But overall, I think things would be okay, and it would give me opportunities to buy great companies at even better prices. So I want everybody to remember that. And when you dollar cost average, these overnight repo things do not matter to you. You sit there and look at all of these bad events as an opportunity to buy a great U.S. economy at a much better price. So guys, I appreciate you watching this. If this channel is of interest, we're going to do 20 to 30 videos a month on this channel. We go over different stocks and different ideas out there. Just remember, as sexy as the hype is on Bitcoin, what are you actually buying here? The people who say you're buying a finite asset, there's a lot of finite assets. That guitar there was signed by the members of U2. That's finite. There aren't many signed guitars by U2. Why isn't it worth 10 million? Why not 20 billion? It's finite. That's the argument of Bitcoin, but it has to have use. That has no use besides sitting in my house as a piece of art. Thank you for your time.